First couple steps, so I wrote a book called The 7-Step Guide to Living Life Without Porn, which, anybody can get for free if they want that. But you said it in the setup, right? Most people won't be willing to admit that there is an actual problem in their life. So that first step must be an acceptance and admittance of the actual problem. This is with any addiction, right? I know your story that you've had to overcome a lot. And if you walk into a 12 steps group, the first step of their philosophy is going to be to acknowledge and surrender that the addiction got control of you. Now, what I don't buy into from their philosophy is that you need to admit that to yourself every single day. I think that's holding on to a limiting identity. But if you've identified that is in the problem, you must actually accept where you are. Yes, you must admit to yourself that you have a problem with pornography. That is something that you're going to have to work through. Now, the second step, I think there, Doug, once you've admitted it to yourself, is you want to recruit some type of accountability. So you need to find the right person in your life, whether it's a coach, mentor, therapist, pastor, big brother, uncle, father type figure in your life that you can then go admit it to them. So admit it to yourself first. That's the acceptance of what's going on, and then admit it to somebody else. So that's the recruitment of the accountability. And in that conversation with the other person, devise a plan. Build a regular cadence with this individual of how often can I check in with you? If I call you and I'm feeling urgent triggered, will you be willing and able to have a conversation with me? So I think those are the first two most important steps. Is you must accept where you are in life, and then you must admit it. So you must get some of this off of yourself, because a lot of men that are struggling with pornography addiction, the reason they won't admit it is because they're living in shame. And shame is them telling themselves that they're a bad person. If we're unwilling to talk about what we're doing in our life, it's because we see ourselves in a negative lens. So oftentimes that first conversation with another person, this was my story, and this happens with a lot of the men on our first call in our group coaching. When they begin to open up with other people, this weight is lifted off of them. It's almost like that shame that they've been living in for sometimes decades is starting to go away. Now, that's not the only thing, but I think those are the two most important first steps: is accept and acknowledge it in yourself first, and then find somebody in your world. And if you don't have that safe person in your world, this is where somebody like myself would come in, or you find a pastor, or you find a therapist, somebody that is going to create a safe place for you. Because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to go into that first conversation with another person and then push back, be like, oh, dude, it's no big deal, man. That's what every guy does, right? And that's what a lot of us think when we're caught up in this. Oh, this is just something that every single guy does. But if you've recognized that it is a problem and it is holding you back and there are negative consequences in your life, admitting it and then finding that right person, the person that you can trust in and is going to provide a safe place for you to have the real open, honest conversation.